Welcome back to the Sydney Football Stadium with the atmosphere, as I said earlier, so typical of Origin football as we come into a match that has been downplayed in many sections of the media, but somebody forgot to tell something like 40,000 that are here. They're waiting with great expectation for yet another clash, the 43rd clash between the two states, the Blues and the Maroons. And I can tell you that nobody was more nervous as we visited the Queensland room than their coach Paul Vaughton. Newcastle owns the Johns brothers and New South Wales owns the Blues, and there we are in the dressing room, just seconds prior to the Dutch judges telling them that we are ready for them, the Queenslanders, very much the rank outsiders. Never has a Queensland side in State of Origin been declared at the odds they are, 9-2 against and 9-1 on the New South Wales Blues. And of course that puts added pressure on them as they leave the room and start the walk now down what has become the famous tunnel, the famous walkway that will lead them out, and they will be buoyed by a tremendous reception because the people of Sydney, the people of New South Wales and many Queenslanders have filled the seats in front of them, waiting to see yet another clash between the Blues and the Maroons. And here they are, the Tooheys Blues taken out by Captain Brad Fittler. He plays his 13th Origin match tonight. He was the youngest ever at a tender age of 18 and 114 days, I think it was. They're out there, the Blues, the Maroons, taken out for the first time by Trevor Gilmeister, a great friend of the coach, and I wonder if somewhere in his mind I'm going out there to do it not only for Queensland and myself, but particularly for the fat man, Dale Shearer. A little thumbs up for you people up in the Sunshine State. A lot of mateship, a lot of camaraderie, and as Paul said to me only half an hour ago, all I want them to do is be competitive. The fireworks light the skies of Sydney above the football stadium. Magnificent night. The cameras take you across a beautifully prepared pitch. State of Origin number 43.
Paul Vaughton also said that the only thing acceptable tonight was a win. It's very easy to be competitive for the first 15 or 20 minutes. You're still hyped up and the adrenaline is pumping. The big test comes after that. The fatigue factor starts to set in and you've got to cover plenty of metres to get to where you've got to be. Trevor Gilmeister, he's done it plenty of times before. He'll be leading by example.
So the two sides coming now to face the camera side of the ground and to pay their respects to the national anthem that'll be performed tonight by Christine Anu. Good evening, Australia. Good evening, overseas. Taking us the UK, the US of A, South Africa, New Zealand and Asia. So, the start now only seconds away. The players Let's go through their final private seconds before kick-off. Terry Hill playing in his second Origin match. Played in one back in Game 3 of 1993. Gavin Allen, State of Origin hero, I seem to recall. Eddie Ward in charge of his third Origin match tonight. He blows time on, and the Origin series is underway for 95. Will the fire and brimstone be there as predicted by many? First tackle of the match on Larson, and the second is on Allen. He is 22 metres away from his own line. This is Hearn, North Sydney front row forward, just inside the 30-metre point. Cross and away now on the fourth tackle. First set of tackles in the Origin here at the football stadium for this year. The kick down the ground on an early tackle, and Brasher taken by 3 and 4 of the Queenslanders.
And that's an area that Queensland really have to be very strong in, their kick and chase. I don't think their kicking game is going to be good as New South Wales, and that means they probably won't play field position to the extent that they'd like. Even there, Tim Brasher brought the ball back 45 from his own line.
So play now almost on the halfway line, with the Blues getting their first touch of it. And Carroll is put away, the sound of the whistle and the penalty. Ward has called out one of the Queenslanders for back-chatting. It is Bartram. But the penalty has been given to the New South Welshman. Seven series victories to Queensland, 6 to New South Wales. They need this one to level that, as Harrigan launches himself at the 20-metre line. Now Sidaris a dummy half. They go to the right, and Fittler holds it back. Put away for New South Wales, Brad Mackay. Now Fittler again. Very highly involved. Led the pass. Played and away now. The Johns brothers combine. Harrigan up the centre. 5 tackles gone, 3 metres out. Sidaris away. Pressure for the Queenslanders. A kick by Andrew Johns, but he's taken the corner post. Rod Wishart has taken the corner post.
Well, he had plenty of time there, Andrew Johns, to put that kick across. Wishart all the time in the world, but just there, his knee clipped the corner post. Matt seemed too late on the scene, but he'd already gone out.
Well, the idea was obviously right. The kick just a fraction too long. Would have been a great start for New South Wales, scoring the first time they touched the football. Dale Shearer coming up with 2 try-saving tackles in the one set of 6.
Tony Hearn now. 35 metres away from the Queensland line. Early seconds as the captain unloads, and Robbie O'Davis now succumbs to the tackle there of Menzies in 11. And the ball going down towards the touchline, and Brasher lets it go. Kick from Adrian Lamb. 3 times he's represented for Papua New Guinea.
Well, that'll settle down Adrian Lamb. It was a good tactic, kicking a little bit earlier in the tackle count. And I think they should be kicking for touch. The more that Queensland can play New South Wales in set piece positions instead of broken play, the better they'll be. They don't want Tim Brasher running the ball back in broken field.
Wishart now thinking to himself, that was one try that got away. Fittler taking it up on the 4th occasion already in the game. Sidaris is able to make some yardage out to the 40. And now it is Terry Hill.
Steve Roach mentioned it in his pre-game wrap that Eddie Ward's big 10 metres could have a bearing on this match. Already the Queenslanders are battling to get back to 10 each time, playing the ball very quickly, the Blues.
Harrigan. The 5th tackle is with us as Sidaris looks for his kicker, and he picks up Andrew Johns, and the young Newcastle Knight puts it down into the corner for another of those players, Robbie O'Davis, to bring it back. They're on the 20-metre line, Queensland. Brett Dallas looking for the ball. He's with it now. Away from the 20-metre line. Playing in his second Origin match, Brett Dallas. And a bit of a flare-up.
Well, it was a swinging arm from Paul Harrigan. He will be the man who is penalised. There was just a push from one of the Maroon forwards. It hasn't escalated into anything too outrageous. But it will be a Queensland penalty for the high attempted shot by Paul Harrigan.
We see this swinging arm from Harrigan. Dallas, he's done well to duck under that. Could have come off pretty bad if it had connected. A couple of Queensland players didn't like the fact that Harrigan had a shot at one of their teammates.
So Harrigan has been sent away to a neutral corner as Eddie Ward comes over and gives the penalty as expected to the Queenslanders. Just looking at the collective Origin appearances of both sides, you mightn't believe it, but Queensland has 85 as against New South Wales 69. A statistic that's hard to believe when you look at the talent on paper that took the field tonight. The tap to be taken by Queensland as they cross the halfway line. It's with Gavin Allen. And Allen put away about 3 metres into opposition territory. Bartram in the 9. Hearn. The pass looked forward to Larson. And Larson will play it in the centre of the ground now. Almost on the 40-metre line. Away again from Bartram onto Lamb. Lamb then on. And the lock forward, Billy Moore, made to play it. As Queensland work their way down into New South Wales territory. Dale Shearer held it back and then O'Davis chimed in. But O'Davis swarmed over by the New South Wales defence of Sidaris and Fittler. Gilmeister goes ahead. Carroll launches himself. Thankfully for Gilmeister, the tackle missed the mark. On for Lamb. He scurries up to the defence line. He puts in a kick. Pressure there. Brasher does the juggle, but he comes down safely with it.
Tremendous take there from Tim Brasher, albeit on the second or third attempt, because the chase from Queensland was good. Wishart gets out from dummy half and picks up an easy 5 metres. It's great to see a very big crowd here at the football stadium tonight. They've come out to support the game of rugby league. Very vocal at the moment.
McGregor now working on a fairly narrow blind side. And now Sidaris is there to support and promote the ball out to the 40-metre line. No score, although New South Wales went very close. Big Carroll again. 1 of 10 Kangaroos in the side for the New South Wales team. None for Queensland as it goes back for Andrew Johns again to pilot this ball down through the uprights, not to the dead ball line, and O'Davis comes back. Queensland then, away from their own danger zone. Matt Singh that was, the young Penrith player. And now they're out towards the 30-metre line as Bartram plays it and Lamb gives it off for Hearn. Johns over the top, Andrew Johns underneath with Sidaris, and here's a penalty going to Queensland. Well, they overindulged in the tackle.
Wayne Bartram, the Queensland hooker, a little bit worse for wear out there. As a play the ball infringement goes the way of the Maroon side. Bartram still feeling the effects of taking Paul Harrigan in a very strong tackle. After making that last charge, was very slow to his feet, receiving some attention from the trainer.
So with Queensland taking the kick for touch and finding it about 5 or 6 metres on their own side of the halfway, let's take our first match comment of the night from Steve Roach.
Yeah, it's good play from the Queensland forwards, putting a couple of passes on big Mark Carroll and Harrigan, revving up for the big hit, but they're getting on the outside of him.
Larson now crosses the halfway line. He's met and pulled down by Carroll together with Fittler. There was a third in there, Menzies, as Lamb goes across and links up with Danny Moore, the Manly centre. 40 metres out from the line. Lamb again, keeping the backs fed with plenty of ball. Shearer, the ball goes loose and Queensland come up with it. They get 6 more. He's ruled that that ball was raked out by the Blues. Now Hearn. Coyne slides through a gap. Coyne down to the 10-metre line.
Oh, they've lost it. He should have kept going, Mark Coyne. Was in open space and waited for the support. Big opportunity lost there from Queensland as McGregor is taken by 2 or 3 tacklers, 15 out. Good work here from Tony Hearn, offloading to Mark Coyne, the big left foot step. Had to take the fullback on, try and beat Brasher on the outside, but he stopped to wait for support. The ball went astray.
So New South Wales come away now from their own 20-metre line with a good run by Terry Hill. Down to the halfway, stands and looks for support. Played back for Hancock. On for Fittler. Pushed away for Andrew Johns. And Gilmeister is underneath, and coming over the top there was Billy Moore. Matthew Johns now. Keeping it relatively low, but right into the arms of Matt Singh. Singh away from 1, away from 2. Stands in a third. Then he gives the pass and knocked on. Wayne Bartram.
Well, that's a real shame for Queensland. A great run back there from Singh. All the young Queenslanders, the debutants, have had a touch of the footy now. And look at the confidence of this player. He did the right thing here, giving that to Wayne Bartram, but he tackled by Mackay just as he got the ball.
Good opportunity for Brad Fittler to get involved from this scrum win. Quite a big blind side there. Instead they go through Matthew Johns. He takes on Dale Shearer and beats him.
Coming up to 11 minutes gone. First half, no score. New South Wales now with 4 tackles remaining on this set. 20 metres out from the Queensland line. Brasher gives it from dummy half. And then Andrew Johns combines with Brad Mackay, who's not held. Referee Eddie Ward apparently had called held. And now it's Carroll. Carroll 12 metres out from the line. Sidaris looking which way to go. Goes on the blind. Kicks ahead. Was he taken out? Raked over the line by Queensland, but it's a penalty to the Blues.
He's a very smart hooker, Jim Sidaris, with a kicking game. Saw there was no second line of defence so close to the line, and there's the big shoulder from Tony Hearn connecting. Danger stations with Craig Hancock nearly coming up to capitalise on the fumble by Robbie O'Davis.
New South Wales has opted to take the kick for goal, and that means that Rod Wishart has to come right across from his right wing. Wishart, a Kangaroo tourist, and playing in his 13th Origin match tonight. Second most experienced of the New South Wales Blues. His kicking percentage is up at 81% thus far in the Winfield Cup.
Well, Tim Brasher earlier on, we saw that Terry Hill break. He hurt his knee. He's been hobbling around ever since. No doubt he doesn't want to come off the field. What a good replacement waiting for his chance in Matt Sears. I'm sure Brasher will do his best to convince the doctor now he's right to stay on.
Terry Hill's been in great form this year. And again, straight through a tackle there. He's been a powerful runner all season since coming back from that Kangaroo tour. Good defence from Robbie O'Davis coming across to save the situation. A couple of busts for both teams now. Either side get able to capitalise by putting on the first 4-pointer.
So Rod Wishart, prolific scorer on the Kangaroo tour, but unsuccessful with his first shot at goal. So he's put in a couple of times, Rod, but both times he's come up empty. Could have had a try in the early minutes of the game. Now unsuccessful with the penalty attempt. It does, however, force the 20-metre dropout, and his wing partner Hancock has to take it. Wrapped up by Coyne, coming in over the top, Hearn and Dallas. And Hill is the dummy half. Carroll now carries the football back to the halfway line.
Ray Brasher is okay. He's back in the full-back role for New South Wales. As a sloppy play, the ball sees Brad Mackay over the halfway line into Queensland territory.
Sidaris now working it across to the right for Harrigan, who was under a cloud. There was a question mark as to whether Paul Harrigan would in fact play in this match. Matthew Johns waving players around him. Terry Hill responds, and then an evasive effort by Hill, and picked up and driven into the ground by the Queensland defence. Sidaris now back with the dummy half job, and giving it for Johns to put down into the end goal for Brett Dallas. And the Bulldogs speedster comes away outside the 10-metre line. Good tackle by Menzies. Hearn, a dummy half. That's O'Davis. No score as we come into the 15th minute. Adrian Lamb. Bartram. 15 times they've played Origin football in Sydney. It reads 8-7 the New South Wales way. Fifth tackle right on the halfway line now. To the left onto the blind side for Adrian Lamb. Tim Brasher fully recovered, it would seem, bringing it away now. And that's the way it is. The state of play. 43rd match tonight. 23-19 in favour of Queensland. As the Blues come away outside the 30-metre line.
Oh, great shot. Gavin Allen over the top, just smashed Brad Fittler. Now Harrigan lines up. Great body contact out there amongst the forwards.
Carroll now, almost to the halfway line. Larson dragging around the legs and Allen over the top. Larson already has contributed in 12 tackles. He's averaging just below 1 tackle per minute. With Matt Singh now back in that corner. 5 or 6 metres out from his own line. Big Danny Moore.
Bit of a shaky one here for Matt Singh. He's dropped that obviously backwards, almost into touch. Did well to skirt the touchline, and Wishart a good tackle.
Billy Moore. The more experienced Queenslanders, in fact, their back row very experienced, with Larson and of course Moore and Gilmeister. On the 30-metre line then, Queensland taking it back into New South Wales territory via the kick, and Brasher comes to the 20-metre line before using Craig Hancock, and Hancock is put away in the centre of the ground. Wishart.
Sturlo, we haven't seen a lot of Steve Menzies yet. Here he is taking the ball up. I can't recall him taking it already in the game, but it's normally about this time in the first half that he tends to put his mark on a match.
Yeah, we're nearly 25 minutes into this game, and this is the time after the initial softening up period, and there has been plenty of softening up. But a few gaps start to appear, a couple of mistakes come. It's really a danger time for both sides, and there's one of the mistakes. Harrigan coughing up the ball, cleaned up by Tony Hearn.
Good effort by the big North Sydney front rower to get back. With Harrigan coughing it up in solid defence. And here's Eddie Ward calling timeout. This could be a blood bin. It is. Blood bin for Tony Hearn. And Mark Hone will go on in jumper number 16. Bleeding from the mouth.
What have you made of Tony Hearn's performance, Steve Roach?
Oh, I thought both their front rower, Tony Hearn's been outstanding, along with Gavin Allen. No doubting his ability. I'm just a little bit worried. He hasn't played that much football lately, and he has problems lasting the full 80 minutes.
Well, Mark Hone was only just out there 1 second ago, and he's taken it up on the first play of the ball. Now Billy Moore. As Queensland put themselves in an attacking position, Bartram had to let Larson go. He got himself offside. It's with Dale Shearer. And Shearer, playing his 25th Origin match tonight, plays the ball. Bartram runs to the 30-metre line. Gavin Allen is with it now. Wrestled down by Harrigan. Across now for Lamb. To the air they go. And a chance here for the Maroons as the ball is batted back. Coyne. Time to have a look around. He puts a little kick in, and the Blues are able to put that attacking raid to rest. Terry Hill now.
We spoke about Gavin Allen and Tony Hearn's performance. I can say they won't lose much with Mark Hone. I was surprised to see him not make the starting lineup. Superb form the last few weeks for the Crushers. Popping up balls. Great defence. You see him there with a nice tackle on Mark Carroll.
From the high shot, Menzies it is. Tackle just inside the 30-metre line. Eddie Ward indicating we're on the last now. As Andrew Johns puts a kick up, but it's not a good one. It gives an opportunity down the left for Shearer.
Well, he reacted the right way, Andrew Johns. As soon as he got away the wonky kick, he went to put all his players on side. He appealed to the referee. They could get involved. And that was important because there was a chance for Shearer. That's Larson tackle, 25 out.
Queensland again, they come back with Billy Moore just outside the 20-metre line, centre of the park. As Lamb goes from the right of the ground back towards the centre. Eastern Suburbs half-back playing on his home ground. They go to the left. Dale Shearer goes back and he picks up Matt Singh, but there's an objection from the referee.
Paul McGregor is being called out. We are quite a distance away, but it did appear as though it was a pretty fair tackle. A planned move by Queensland where they send the inside runner to the outside and the winger comes in to hopefully what is a hole, but it didn't appear. Paul McGregor met Matt Singh with a very strong tackle. It's been ruled to have been against the rules. I'm a bit surprised at that one.
Queensland have opted to take the kick at goal as Eddie Ward calls the New South Wales captain Brad Fittler out. Fittler, I guess, was asking the question or asking for an interpretation of the ruling from Eddie Ward, but Bartram now places it for the shot at goal. 10 metres in from touch. It's about 16 metres out.
Let's just have a look where the point of contact was. I don't think there's anything wrong with that one.
Well, it looks like he's got him around the shoulders. And I don't really think there was any contact with the neck until after Matt Sears was on the ground.
Yeah, good ball and all tackle.
Amazing how this crowd filled up in the last 15 minutes. There's now certainly a crowd very much of 40,000 as the Bartram kick goes wide. We'll take a break. We're back in just a moment at 0-0. So it's the 20-metre drop out for the Blues to get us going again. And it's back off the feet or the legs of Adrian Lamb, who takes it to the halfway line. Now Mark Hone goes across and picks up Gary Larson. Welcome back. 21 minutes of State of Origin 1 expired at the Sydney Football Stadium, and no score as the Queenslanders put themselves into a gap. 6 more tackles ruled by Eddie Ward, so they've got 6 more tackles and they're 25 metres out. Coy using Hone. Hone gets it to the 20-metre line, but that's where he runs into Brad Mackay. From Bartram on to Lamb, and it's gone across for Billy Moore. He slides the pass for Dale Shearer. 12 metres out from the line. They go one more to the left with Bartram, and Bartram is flung to the ground by McGregor. Back they come with Danny Moore. Then for Lamb. A fair bit of hesitation in what they're doing there now, as Gavin Allen is tackled on 5. Lamb shapes to kick and grubbers it into the end goal. It went over the dead ball line and I believe off a New South Wales player. So the line dropout. We'll see Queensland come back with 6 more.
And a very well placed kick by Lamb. Hasn't he been impressive? Looks sharp in attack, selected with his passing, and that perfectly placed kick made Brasher knock it dead.
Tui's Blues from their own line, giving it back to Queensland for 6 more opportunities, and Mark Hone has been very busy since he came on, replacing Tony Hearn, who's in the blood bin. Larson is with it now, and they're just outside the 20-metre line. Bartram, Lamb, Shearer, and now Moore. able to unload out the back. The ball goes to ground. It was Danny Moore who lost it. His Manly teammate dived on it, Menzies. Brasher comes away, but Larson wraps him up with a good tackle.
And straight away, New South Wales prepared to go to their back line. The best time to attack in this game is when your opposition don't expect it. And that's a lot of times after a mistake has been made or in your own territory. New South Wales showing the necessary confidence to do exactly that.
Now the front row forwards take it away. First Carroll, now Harrigan. Fittler puts that famous step together, but the ball goes to ground. Ward says play on. Matthew Johns plays it. His brother kicks it now down behind Brett Dallas. It goes over the sideline about 22 metres out from the Queensland line.
And the Johns brothers controlling things nicely for New South Wales. The fact that they know each other's game so well, they're capable of slotting in. The 5'8" Matthew can go into halfback and vice versa, Andrew moving out. They've always got a ready-made first receiver. And obviously Andrew Voss, the scoreline, says exactly what we've seen. A very good contest, not much between these sides in the opening exchanges.
Register a point. The room on the bench, or the news from the bench as far as Queensland are concerned, have been keeping an eye on young Ben Ikin and Craig Teaven, two players doing it very tough. Likewise, Terry Cook, he was warming up for 5 minutes.
Larson then with a good run takes them almost to the halfway line. Here's some loose stuff, and they appear to be paying the penalty for using other than a hooker or dummy half in that role, and that's not meant to be unfair to Wayne Bartram, but he's having trouble getting to the position and giving clean and crisp service.
It is a specialist position, Ray, the dummy half role. It's the most important role on the paddock because you touch the football more than any other player. So your direction and your distribution has to be very, very good. At times, he has been responsible for making the wrong decision at the wrong time. There's another change there with Hearn coming back from the blood bin. Marcone left, but now comes back on for Gavin Allen. It looks as though Marcone will get plenty of football this evening.
W. Davis charged with the duties of finding the line, and he does that very proficiently. 26th minute of the game, and Hearn is back from the blood bin and seems anxious to get on with it. Takes the first hit 25 metres out from the line. Now Larson. Gary has already mounted an enormous effort, 15 tackles and 7 hit-ups. As Bartram unloads for Lamb, he dummies to Hone and goes back to his captain Gilmeister, and then for Billy Moore. Moore now about 15 metres away from the line. That tackle hurt him as it comes now for his North Sydney teammate Tony Hearn. Hearn is right in the centre of the park, only about 7 metres out. Can they score? Lamb holds it back, tries to slice through the last tackle, and of course their kicker plays the ball. Bartram goes across for Shearer, and Shearer's kick has been fielded in goal. No, Ward has ruled that he was in the field of play as he dived to catch it. Interesting ruling here by Eddie Ward. Watch it, and he's right, you know. So line drop out to restart. South Wales may have thought they had an easy passage back to the 20-metre line for the tap. Instead, they're giving Queensland plenty of opportunities. Mark Hone. On for Hearn, off for him, and then back on for Gavin Allen, who's in the blood bin. Gary Larson just outside the 20-metre point. Hearn lumbers across that line. Almost treads over the top of Sidaris. Menzies in an uncustomary role. Lamb goes for it. Pulled down 3 metres out. The tackle has hurt the little number 7. Shearer's pass picked up by Bartram. They've come back to go forward. Gilmeister puts his head down and barges. 9 metres out on 5. Bartram to the left. Shearer. Oh, picked out by Menzies, but knocked on.
Now it's been ruled to have come off the knee, so that's a let off for New South Wales. Good charge there from McGregor. And tragedy for Queensland if Adrian Lamb is hurt. That one's ruled to have come off the knee, so that's not a knock on. New New South Wales now on the second tackle, 20 metres from their own line.
I've got no arguments about coming off the knee the first time, but I think there might have been a hand in there the second time.
Well, back on Adrian Lamb, he's hobbling out in the centres and looking worse by the minute, trying to find his way to the sideline. A leg injury from that tackle.
He's just about being their best player out there too, as a wayward pass finds Andrew Johns. Harrigan and Larson come together. And that kick finds touch. We've got the touch judge coming on. Very interesting to see whether this has to do with the Harrigan-Gary Larson incident. It didn't appear to be much. Larson going through to put pressure on the kicker was interfered with. So this may well be a Queensland penalty.
Well, if there's concern over Adrian Lamb, there's equal concern over Terry Hill. He's taken a heavy knock. This will be a penalty, don't worry about that. Let's have a look at Lamb as he suffers his injury.
Oh yeah, the left ankle bent out of shape there. Just hit by plenty of defenders. Leg going the wrong way. Yes, Paul Harrigan is being penalised for interfering with Gary Larson, who was trying to get through to put pressure on the New South Wales kicker.
Well, as you pointed out, Peter, there was absolutely nothing in it, but the fact is that it has been viewed by the touch judge as a breach of the rules. Terry Hill is okay, so it seems, and Queensland gets this opportunity, their second of the game, to raise the flags. Harrigan indicating to the referee that, okay, you're the boss, but there for a while Paul was mouthing off.
Well, I don't think he's got too much of an argument. Sure, you can get in the way of a chaser, but he stuck his arm out and almost grabbed Larson. I think it was a fair penalty. The linesman had a clear view of it. Could have cost his side the first 2 points of the game.
Bartram. Half an hour gone. Kick is good. There's the first points of the State of Origin. For Queensland, they lead 2-0. Paul Vorton's Queensland. All he wanted was a great start, and they've given him that. Not only that, they've got the scoreboard 2-0 in their favour.
Probably wouldn't mind a great finish now.
Welcome back with 31 minutes of the State of Origin 1 gone at the Sydney Football Stadium, and Larson is pummeled into the ground by a not very happy Paul Harrigan, realising that he was the chief contributor to Queensland getting first points on the board. Off the boot of Bartram, Shearer now tries to go through.
And the good news for Queensland is that it appears Adrian Lamb is moving quite freely out there now. He's the playmaker as Tony Hearn drops the hip and spins out of 2 and 3 tackles. It's the last now.
Gavin Allen back on the sideline, which probably means that Mark Hone will make the long trek across to the sideline again. This is Tim Brasher coming out to his own 20-metre line. Big crowd in at the Sydney Football Stadium for Origin 1, and Hancock is wrapped up and put down by Bartram. I might have been critical of his failure to get to dummy half and give them good service, but there's no criticism of his workload. Bartram, he's been very much in the thick of it. Wishart now, 32 or 3 metres away from his own line. Queensland 2-0. Cross through the Johns brothers. Terry Hill put down strongly.
He's in a good battle in the centres, especially the number 3s. Hill and Coyne up against each other. They both made a break in this game already. The defence has been tremendous. Great take there from Robbie O'Davis at fullback. He's met with a strong tackle. Brad Mackay again leading the charge.
Mark Hone is off, and Gavin Allen has gone back on as Billy Moore reaches 35 metres out from his own line. Larson gets in the queue again. Almost to the halfway line. And now for Shearer. It's Gavin Allen out fairly wide, getting the arms free, looking for somebody coming off him. Hurd, a bruising performance by him. He's taken plenty but given plenty back. Bartram now on and away from Lamb, behind Shearer, knocked on and not cleaned up by O'Davis, but the referee will take it back and put the turnover together.
Getting into a danger time now, just outside of half-time as McGregor tries to beat his man. Can't beat Moore and ends up over the sideline. So that's a great tackle on the first. And Danny Moore, he's revved up and revving his teammates up. 6 minutes to go in this first half. It's when the concentration can just lapse a little bit.
Well, he had some great help there from Billy Moore and another Queenslander. I've got to agree with you, Sterlo. That's the danger area for Queensland. Out wide, the centres, Terry Hill and Paul McGregor. But their opposite numbers are doing good jobs on him so far.
So this is Billy Moore, totally recovered from an earlier hit. David Fairley getting ready on the sideline, and I'm told also that Greg Florimo is preparing to come on as Rowdy Shearer takes it ahead, leaves it on the ground behind him. Fittler gives it off. Sedaris pushes on. Andrew Johns, he uses McGregor. He beats one, swerves around 2 and 3, feeds it across. It's with Terry Hill. Now Craig Hancock. He goes inside Queensland area and is tackled 40 metres out. Hill gets it on. Menzies is with it. Fairley has gone on. About 35 metres out now from the Maroons line. They lead 2-0. Matthew Johns works now with Brad Mackay. No markers. He plays it back anyway. And then Sedaris. He leaves it on the ground. The referee says play on. This is the last tackle. Played by Matthew Johns. Fittler. Fittler kicks ahead. One of the New South Wales players failed in back play. He looked across for a touch judge, but that was not forthcoming. Queensland now bringing it back to safer territory and making easy yards. This is Lamb on the 40-metre line on the second tackle, now the third. Allen over the halfway line.
Don't they look like a well-drilled unit? The fat man has done a good job with the Queenslanders, taking the ball forward well, probably better up the middle than the New South Wales team so far, and they have created a number of opportunities with their kicking game, their short kicking game.
So Shearer puts a bit of that experience on the Queensland performance. He knows that it's a dangerous time in any rugby league game, close to half-time, close to full-time. As Terry Cook goes out to replace another blood bin.
Yeah, Tony Hearn going to the blood bin. He actually came up on the tack with Terry Hill this side of the field earlier. That's a great effort for a front rower, as has been his first half performance. But the one thing that Queensland have been in front of New South Wales in is stringing together sets of 6. Really, every time New South Wales have had the football, they've only utilised the 6 tackles, then kicked. Sometimes courtesy of a penalty, the Maroons have been able to get 6, 12 tackles, even 18 tackles at times, and that's given them momentum.
David Fairley, Rothman's medalist of 1994, is out there now. Brad Mackay playing it just outside the 30-metre line. Now for Carroll. And Carroll just inside the 40-metre line. Across now through Andrew and with Matthew Johns. He flicks it out the back for his brother Andrew to take it ahead, and they go across looking for Rod Wishart. He puts the kick in. It'll find touch.
Just telegraphed the kick a little bit there. Did find touch, but you see Matt Singh was able to turn fairly early, and he's got very good speed, so you have to doubt that Wishart would have got there first. A great pass from Andrew Johns. 20 or 30 metres across to his winger in a little bit of space.
Scrum won by Queensland on their own 40-metre line. And Dale Shearer not prepared to try anything fancy, not in his own territory and not at this time in the game, given his team leads 2-0 and Harrigan is back on the bench. Billy Moore. 5 or 6 metres short of the halfway line. Clock showing us just over 2 minutes of the first half remaining. It's Queensland raid into New South Wales territory. O'Davis and Coyne, now Shearer, and Shearer pulled down by McGregor. This is tackle number 5. McGregor, the referee didn't see it, but he pulled Shearer down. Now Cook, Shearer, knocked down by Carroll. And this will be a scrum close to the New South Wales line. Queensland loose and feed.
And it will be a very long 1.5 minutes for New South Wales here. They'll get 6 tackles in. Great break made by Robbie O'Davis and a good pass to Mark Coyne, who wrong foots Jim Sedaris. Dale Shearer did well to be backing up. Scrum win now, 10 metres out. Great attacking opportunity here on the stroke of half-time.
Billy Moore. Just outside the 10-metre line, Danny Moore. Danny Moore gets it away, Mark Coyne. Coyne very, very close. Inches from the line. Bartram. 2-0 Queensland coming into half-time. Lamb back now for Cook. 4 metres out in front of the uprights. O'Davis onto the left for Lamb. Now the last. Bartram. They go left. Shearer back for Allen. And Allen, I don't know that he realised it was the last tackle.
Well, that was great defence from New South Wales, as they've done this whole first half. They haven't had as much football as their opposition, as Sedaris goes across field trying to find support, does so. They had a good chance, Queensland, there, but New South Wales repelled them.
Fittler. Last set of tackles before the half-time break. Just seconds, and now the siren. So at half-time, in State of Origin 1, Queensland are leading 2-0. And just the start they wanted. They were talking about, let's just be competitive. Now they must be thinking, hang on a moment, we can win this. Welcome back to the Sydney Football Stadium. We're standing by for the start of the second half of Origin 1 for 1995, and a lovely scoreline if you're a Queenslander. 2-0, it's not much, but it's certainly more than a lot of people expected. And there they are, the Queenslanders. I just wonder what their coach has said to them at half-time. New South Wales probably in need of a little rev up from Phil Gould. I got the impression watching that first half that the New South Welshmen had a lot more work to do in defence, and the total tackle count substantiates that. They had 139 tackles as opposed to 121 for the Queenslanders. Very interesting statistic. At the back of the scrum, Fittler, Mackay and Menzies, their total hit-ups is 10.
I'm not sure whether that's a lack of involvement, Ray, or it's just they're playing as well as the opposition is allowing them to. One thing that New South Wales have been keen to do is to go to their back line. That's why we see quite a few hit-ups for the likes of McGregor and Hill and Wishart, etc. I think that they've got to establish something in the middle of the ruck and then try and attack on the fringe of the ruck through the likes of Menzies and Fittler.
Billy Moore is obviously very, very pumped up. Gary Belcher, you've been to the Queensland dressing room.
Yeah, Fatty just reiterated what we've been saying. The Queensland defence has been excellent. Their short kicking game superb. He actually wants their players around the middle of the ruck, their forwards, to mix up their ball playing a little bit. I think they've been very good in that area. He wants that to continue. He's still concerned that the New South Wales, some of their players are ready to explode and leave their mark in the game. And certainly around the edge of the ruck and out wide, Brad Fittler, Menzies and the two centres are really still the danger men for the Queensland side.
What about you, Blocky? You've been to the New South Wales room.
Yeah, well, Phil Gould said to his side, look, settle down, be patient. The tide will turn. They've had all the ball. He said, play at your pace, not theirs. He said their play the balls are far too slow. Queensland are struggling when they are in the play the ball situation. He said, look, the Queenslanders will take a few chances, so there'll be a little bit of ball around. They must finish their sets of 6. And the Queenslanders have dropped 3 high balls, so a little bit more pressure from the high ball.
All right, thank you, Blocker, as Queensland start the second half, leading 2-0, the kickoff. And it's Carroll who goes charging back to them with a great run. Takes him out to the 30-metre line on the first tackle. Little mistake, a dummy half, but Sidaris able to clean it up, and this is Brasher now. Queensland really inspired by the scoreboard first and foremost, and by the performances of some of the lesser lights. Players that there might have been a question mark on, they've risen to the occasion. And as I said, going to the half-time break, they know now they can win this one. Singh.
Oh, very relaxed Paul Vaughton there. I think I know what he said to them at half-time. Go out and score more points than the opposition. It's the most serious I think I've ever seen. No work, mate.
It's amazing the number of times we've been critical of coaches for not smiling just occasionally, and there he is doing the same.
Deep down he's smiling, mate.
Deep down he is smiling. I'll tell you something else, he's very nervous. As Brett Dallas, the Bulldogs winger, is tackled a few metres short of the halfway line, and now Gary Larson, who's been an absolute tower of strength for the Queenslanders. That's his 24th, his 13th hit up. He's made 24 tackles as Lamb pilots the ball down. It doesn't give a favourable bounce for Craig Hancock, but he and Brasher managed to bring it out towards the 20-metre line. Early seconds of the second half. Queensland with a penalty goal from Wayne Bartram, leading 2-0. New South Wales had a couple of chances in the first half. Wishart taking the corner post and then failing with a penalty kick. So it's not as though they didn't have the chances, as that Andrew Johns makes a clean break. He's 8 metres short of the halfway line, and the penalty goes against Queensland for holding down.
Sometimes the worst thing that can happen to a team is half-time. Things are going well, leave the field, they have a break, and this has not been a good second half start by the Queensland team. Mark Carroll made a break from the kickoff. Johns has gone straight through the middle of the ruck, and now they've given away a penalty late in the tackle count. It's a very ordinary start to this second 40 minutes.
Second ball on the field, and Eddie Wood calling timeout. Sidaris takes the tap and lets Carroll go before using Wishart, who centralises play. They're just inside the 40-metre line. New South Wales, both sides yet to score a try. The captain, Fittler, plays it, and now away from dummy half. Sidaris just outside the 20-metre line a couple of times. He's opted to run from dummy half, and he's found the markers a little bit lax. Now McGregor channels back in. This is Menzies. He scored 8 tries this year in Winfield Cup. It hasn't been a game really for Steve Menzies thus far. Carroll, the axe, just takes his legs from under him. Now across for Matthew Johns. The kick across the ground is easily taken by Brett Dallas. Now Coyne comes out of that corner, reaches the 20-metre line before forced back by Fairley and Mackay. Fairley left on the park for Harrigan. Bartram now. Billy Moore. All the Queenslanders coming out of the dressing room. You could see that Billy Moore was very excited about what was happening, geeing the players up. It's Lamb with his kicking game, tries to keep this game plan together. Brasher coming off the sideline, and the Queensland defence using that sideline to their advantage. McGregor, a dummy half, using his Illawarra teammate Wishart. Wishart fell into the tackle from Larson. This is Hancock, the wingers, doing their job early in the second half, taking some of the workload away from the forwards. Sidaris, well, he's got to be offside, surely, and he is.
Yeah, Gary Larson never outside the 10-metre area. He was still getting up, committing the previous tackle. There you see him still on the ground on the 30-metre line. Back it comes. Had to catch it at the throw-in to him.
So New South Wales go through the same procedure as they did just 1 minute ago. Wishart. Cross and away from Andrew Johns, and Fittler is out wider now. Mackay, 35 metres out from the line. Menzies a dummy half using Terry Hill. And Hill comes back towards the centre of the park, but the Queensland defence holds. That's where they're at as Sidaris goes away for another dummy half run. Quick hands by Andrew Johns. Now it's away for Matthew to turn for McGregor. But again the Queenslanders hold. Menzies. Carroll charges inside the 10-metre line.
Numbers to the left for New South Wales if they can get the ball there quickly.
There's about 7 on 3 on the left of the ground. Fittler, he got umbrellaed back though. They kick, the bounce is there for the Blues, raked back by the Blues, and 6 more for New South Wales. Andrew Johns with a long pass. If they can pass, they will score. It's with Sidaris. He floats the ball out. Now they look for the line, but they get it down. Do they get a try?
It's gone forward.
Forward pass.
Oh, unbelievable stuff here. The kick hitting the post from Brad Fittler. Went anywhere. Terry Hill, he just says, well, what do you got to do? Great tackle here. Stop things. Brad Mackay offloaded to Jim Sidaris. The cutout pass. Terry Hill picked it up. Brett Dallas hit him in a strong attempt, but he was able to swivel and get the ball down. But the referee says no, the ball has gone forward.
Well, for mine, that's the second occasion when the Blues should have thrown the ball out a bit earlier. Terry Hill did well to stay in, but the ball had gone forward.
Well, did he stay in?
No, yeah, he's out.
I reckon he's put a foot on the sideline, so forward pass or no forward pass, he's definitely put his foot on the sideline. So the defence of Brett Dallas really brought the move to rest as Billy Moore is tackled now on his own 20-metre line.
They're being caught out, Queensland, now. Their markers aren't operating effectively at all, and Jim Sidaris will cut them up if that continues. They made a good bust in that last set of 6, but they're very ordinary. A lot of times a man slow in getting off the ground. Gilmeister comes up with the mistake.
Well, that's an area that Queensland was so strong in the first half. Fatty's not happy with it. They control the ball well and put some pressure on the Blues with their kicks, but they can't put any pressure on the opposition with this sort of mistake. Gilly trying to juggle it.
Well, let's just have a look in this next set of 6 how quickly the markers work and operate for Queensland. If it doesn't, they're going to be in all sorts of strife.
This is Matthew Johns, tackled just outside the 20-metre line. Terry Hill. Mackay takes another one to the blind side. They're 18 metres out from the line from Wishart, along the line for Carroll, and Carroll succumbs to the defence of Larson and Bartram. Sidaris, on it goes. They've got a good line out there. Andrew Johns and Fittler use Menzies. 12 metres out from the line. Lamb is on the ground. Fittler turns it in. McGregor looks for the try line. 5 tackles gone. Queensland trying to weather another attacking raid. Sidaris away from Johns, off the boot this time. Wishart coming up, but it's been batted out of the dead ball area by Matthew Singh. And a line drop out to restart.
And Rod Wishart nearly ended up in the grandstand there. Good kick there from Andrew Johns. Matt Singh not trying to catch the football at all. He throws it. The steeplechase is on for Wishart. And all the pressure again about to be mounted by New South Wales from this line dropout.
A tough one there for Matt Singh, whether to leave the ball go dead. It looked very close. He did the right thing in the end, making sure to clean it up at the back.
Well, if Queensland have had their defences tested, this set of 6 will be The strongest test for it so far. Fairley is put away just outside the 20-metre line. As Matthew Johns works from the right to the left and links up with Menzies through Sidaris back to Andrew Johns, and he's put away. The ball comes loose and a knock on, so Queensland have weathered the storm.
And Andrew Johns has been hurt in that tackle. It was tremendous work from Dale Shearer. Sensing there was danger coming his way, he got up quickly and came up with a strong tackle on Johns, who fell awkwardly. Ball popped out.
This is the sort of effort that wins games. Queensland hanging on. The last couple of sets of 6, the Blues. It's been all the Blues. They're desperate. They're out there. No doubt the Queenslander call's being used. Hey.
On the sidelines, Blocker.
Well, the New South Wales side have looked a lot better with their running from dummy half in the second half. We didn't see it much. They're little men taking control now.
Queensland winning the scrum, but in the wash-up, I was about to say, New South Wales have come up with possession, but he's given a differential penalty to Queensland.
I can't understand why David Fairley, who is playing in the front row, doesn't have every right to strike at the football. He was still bound. The scrum may have been screwing. He's just got his foot round there. Johns has done a great job to bat it back towards his side. I think it's play on.
6-4 the penalties in favour of the Maroons. And that pressure valve just relaxed a little now by New South Wales. They really had an opportunity. They couldn't convert into points. Sidaris clutching at his jaw and then looking for the referee as Hearn plays the ball. Moore chimes in. Steaming through was Terry Cook, looking for the short ball. Fittler and Billy Moore shape up. They stand toe-to-toe. No exchange of punches. Robbie O'Davis, a handoff for Gary Larson. Then away! And this is Danny Moore! Pulled down 15 metres from the line. Chance for Queensland. This is the last. Lamb to the 10 metres. The grubber kick. And New South Wales stretched now to the limit.
Oh, great stuff here. Steve Menzies mightn't have done a lot of attacking, but he's come up with a try saver there on Danny Moore. Great ball back inside from Gary Larson. And there's Moore steaming through the tackle of Brasher, and there's the back row. Menzies arriving just in time. This is the last tackle. Lamb sizes up his options. Decides the kick's the best one. Brasher again there to save the day.
Good contest, this one. We have just left the other end of the park where New South Wales did something similar to Queensland, and now it's the Maroons with their opportunity, but they make the mistake.
Well, Gary Larson not happy with himself. Of course, he put that great ball away for Danny Moore a moment ago, but now, first tackle, just tried too hard. He got the ball over the top here, over the top of McGregor, but on the way down he slipped. Too hard for Billy Moore to handle.
So the Blues come away from their own 20-metre line. Harrigan has gone on. Mark Carroll is now off as Fittler unloads. Harrigan in possession, plays it. Terry Hill takes another simple play towards the halfway line. Sidaris is starting to run. Andrew Johns capitalising. Mark Hone limbers up for the third time. Fittler steps off the left, takes the tackle. Sidaris then gives it. Mackay in traffic. 32 metres out, 5 gone. Sidaris, a look left and right before giving for Andrew Johns, and that's a better kick. But he'll have a mile of time back here. He does, O'Davis. The tacklers arriving quite late. Singh comes off his wing. Matty Singh, and now Robbie O'Davis.
Gee, that's confident play, isn't it? Singh getting a pass away under a little bit of pressure on his own 20-metre mark. Second tackle. Gilmeister throws the dummy, hitting a strong tackle by Fittler. Two very confident football teams out there, prepared to throw the football around.
Hearn is 35 metres out from his line. 2-0. You don't see that scoreline very often these days. The 10-metre rule really has made that scoreline something we hardly ever see, and it's great testimony, great tribute to the combatants out there to keep the scoreboard at 2-0.
That's a poor kick from Wayne Bartram, dummy half. Really never in a good position to kick as Hancock doubles back. Got to drive the football deep. Kicking game, if you're not kicking for your chasers to come up with the football via the little one over the top or the grubber kick, it's got to be for distance.
Fairley's pass landing in no man's land, and Hill has to scamper across, and he's wrapped up by Mark Coyne. A lot of people were of the opinion that Terry Hill and Paul McGregor would have the balance of power in the battle between them and Danny Moore and Mark Coyne, but somebody forgot to tell the Queenslanders they've both had outstanding games. Danny Moore has really left a mark on it. Robbie O'Davis not to be outdone. Queensland's Matt Singh now to the 20-metre line. Matthew Johns picks him off in a strong tackle and stays there alert and alive to make another. They're on the 20-metre line as Bartram gets it away for... I was about to say Terry Cook, but Tony Hearn it was, and now it goes on for the right. And Lamb gets it down towards Brasher. Brasher coming off his 30-metre line. Brett Dallas, pretty hard to get away from him. Hearn coming off. Dallas doing plenty of work in there. Hancock is with it.
There's a real deficiency in Queensland's kicking game, their long kicking game. Short kicks have been excellent tonight. Giving the ball back to New South Wales, if they don't make many yards coming out of their own territory, they've got a short kick in there, and the Blues are back attacking after only a couple of tackles.
Fiddler. A couple of metres on his own side of the halfway. Harrigan finds himself a dummy half, and now Florimo is there. So Florimo has gone on as Johns puts the kick in, a towering kick. Again, not placing Queensland under a great deal of pressure, and Robbie O'Davis has come away from 3 tackles to the 40-metre line. He's having an outstanding game, the Novocastrian.
He's been superb at the back, O'Davis. The first thing he does when he gets the ball is goes forward at speed and makes it very difficult for the defenders to pick him off. Another penalty for the Maroons here.
Yes, they're leading in that department, Queensland, 8-4 now, and there has been a positional change for New South Wales. Florimo has come on. That has pushed Brad Fittler out to 5'8", and Matthew Johns is the player who's left the field. Florimo, you would expect, to slot it into the lock-forward position. And Matt Sears from North Sydney, fullback, about to come into the game. Brasher will go out onto the wing. And it's Hancock who's left the field.
Yes, Hancock has done some damage to an ankle or a knee. He's left the ground on the far side. As Queensland's Gary Larson runs into a nice old reception and then loses the ball. Eddie Ward was right on top of it.
Let's just have a look as to whether there is a hand from New South Wales. It's illegal to break the ball out. Larson again, poor ball security here. He looks to offload. And there's the hand from Brad Mackay. It's a penalty.
Wishart playing it now. 25 out from his own line. They opt to go to the right of the ground where Brad Mackay was the only player available. Now Florimo, they work back for Sidaris, but Sidaris is intent on working to the left of the ground. That's where his personnel is. They're almost to the halfway line. This is Big Harrigan. Unloading for Menzies, Sidaris and McGregor. Sidaris, that's Matt Sears up in the line. Sears on at full back. And Brasher is out on the wing as again Harrigan carries the football to the 40-metre line. Now Fiddler. Singh going back into the corner and into the end goal, but he makes it back. He kept it pretty simple. Didn't try to do anything too flash, just crawled back into the field of play. O'Davis put away heavily by Fittler. Billy Moore, he knows he's been tackled. Fairley and Harrigan. Moore got up smiling, so it didn't hurt too much. Bartram. Now Lamb. Space from dummy half. Gap closed by Florimo and Mackay, and the ball comes out. Another penalty to Queensland.
You can see the reaction from Brad Mackay. It is a cardinal sin to give away a penalty on the last tackle. It had been great New South Wales defence. Adrian Lamb made a good little burst up the middle. That's what Queensland needed. Tried to get up to play the football, and there Mackay is interfering with the player, and it's definitely a penalty.
Well, Brad shouldn't complain too loudly because he got away with a similar offence about 90 seconds back in the game. Mark Hone now. Almost 10 metres in the New South Wales area. And that timepiece coming up to the exact hour. 60 minutes gone. Queensland 2-0. Lamb across and throwing dummies before picking up a forward runner. Billy Moore it was. Now the captain Gilmeister. Florimo makes the tackle. They're inside the 30. Lamb across for O'Davis. O'Davis able to get it away. Very strong effort. Hone uses Moore. And now Lamb, the last. So Dale Shearer was expecting him to do the kicking, but it's with Wishart now. And he plays it back on his own 10-metre line. That's the unmistakable running style of Matt Sears. Another Origin debutant. Harrigan back for Sidaris and then for Johns, and now put away as Wishart. Sidaris. Fairley. Now McGregor. McGregor tries to slice through, but that defence in the centres, well, that was Dale Shearer's tackle, but the defence out there in that corridor has been absolutely magnificent. Brasher. Johns. Singh going back. They've had a lot of work, these two, Singh and O'Davis. And if you throw in Dallas on the other wing, they're all pint-sized, really, by comparison.
Well, they've all been superb as well. I can't remember a mistake from either or any of the three players. Only Dallas, of course, has played State of Origin before. They have been magnificent at the back.
Somebody's got to get tired now, don't they? The game's played at such a pace, with such intensity. Somebody has got to get tired, and that's how a try is going to be scored.
Queensland working at close quarters, short passing the order of the night as Bartram and Brasher shape up. It wasn't Bartram. The ball has come loose and Harrigan is with it. Touch judge on the far side, quite happy to let that little disagreement go. Andrew Johns is away over the halfway and pulled down by Singh. Down on the Queensland 40-metre line. Fittler gives it on. It's away now for Florimo.
It does look as though a try is coming from New South Wales. Warming to their task now, keeping the ball alive. Sidaris, the little chip for himself. Where's the support? Here it comes. McGregor.
Great tackle by Bartram. 10 metres out from the line. From Brasher to Sears. Sears away for Fittler. Then for Johns. Now for Terry Hill. Hill looks at the line, goes for it. Doesn't get it down, I don't think. No, he's been held up.
Oh, how good has Matt Singh played? Terry Hill block busting through. Matt Singh sat on his backside, but he was under the football. The groin problems did trouble Terry Hill during the week, but it hasn't been evident out there tonight. And Matt Singh hanging on to the football. It's a good decision. Great attack, great defence. Another chance for New South Wales with the scrum win.
Johns goes wide for Fittler. Fittler stands, turns it back, Sears for Wishart. Wishart, oh, strong stuff. Gilmeister and Larson. Sedaris now. Back and away for Johns. Menzies is with it. To ground it goes. And Ward says knock on.
Well, they let off the rack. They needed it too, Queensland. They are struggling here. Menzies, this ball looked at first to have gone backwards. No, it has gone forward. Good ruling. Eddie Ward would have been 15 metres away. Maybe some help from the touch judge there.
Just when you think you have got them, these plucky Queenslanders, they're no different than anybody that has preceded them.
I said somebody's going to get tired out there, Ray, and it's going to manifest itself in a missed tackle. We saw it from Dale Shearer. The bus made down this side of the field, and again it was Matt Singh who got back to come up with the cover defensive tackle, and he had to cover a lot of ground to get there. And a couple of rucks later, he was the man denying New South Wales, Terry Hill, the ball placed over the line.
Larson now. No matter which way the result goes, he's going to be one of the heroes. His tackle count is up to 36, Larson, and 17 hit-ups. And he's a mile in front of the nearest tackler on either side, as Hone plays it on 5.
That's Craig Teevan on in 17 for Queensland. Wayne Bartram off. Would appear as though Teevan will move into the hooking role as Sears cleans the ball up 8 out from his own line. A sea of Maroon defenders there to meet him. New South Wales again getting troops back.
Terry Hill off.
So too Dale Shearer.
Iken has gone on, young Ben Iken has gone on for Dale Shearer. So just outside the New South Wales 20-metre line. They go ahead with Harrigan. Andrew Johns, who made a clean break about 5 minutes ago, makes another. Now to the halfway line they go. Florimo turns it in. Wishart goes without it. And another loose head and feed for Queensland.
They've got to get into a situation, New South Wales, where they get a string of possession. Ben Iken, he's played 3 games in Winfield Cup football. He's going to be playing in the under-19s match tonight. How would he be feeling coming into this situation? 13.5 minutes to go in this game. His side leading by 2. This is his first touch. No, Coyne throws the dummy.
Mark Coyne incensed earlier by another television network suggesting that he's already signed to go to Super League. New South Wales manager Jeff Carr took me aside to again emphasise that Mark is absolutely filthy on the report, as is the St George club. And that was laid on his table only minutes before he ran on tonight. The 17 is Craig Teevan.
And a good run from Teevan out of dummy half. He has been fantastic for the Crushers back there the last few weeks. Certainly will add a new dimension to Queensland's play around that area.
New South Wales, they've got the work to do now. Trailing 2-0, look at the timepiece. We're coming up with 12.5 minutes remaining, and great defence there.
He's just a wind-up toy, isn't he, Gary Larson?
What about a toy?
He's a tough toy.
You can call him a toy if you like. This is Fittler. Look at this defence from Queensland, and that's him again.
I just said it was indestructible. He's down hurt now. Sedaris shrugs out of attack. He can't beat Teevan. That's the last.
30-metre line. So they are going to give it back to Queensland at approximately the same position, other end of the field, although this kick is getting close to that sideline. How much work has O'Davis done in this match tonight?
Well, he's had plenty and he's done it all very well. He looks a bit tired there, as do some of his teammates. Obviously this fellow in a bit of space, Brett Dallas, certainly the quickest player out there.
The place where legends are born. State of origin football. I tell you what, there's a couple being born out here tonight. This is Coyne using young Dallas. He's got a sniff of some space. Pulled down 40 metres out. Gilmeister. Now they go across. Here's a chance. Aiken goes back in. He gets it to Billy Moore. Back to Aiken. It was knocked backwards. This is the last. That would have been a dream come true. Across for O'Davis. He kicks again. New South Wales with McGregor. 12 metres out from his own line.
Oh, there was a real chance there. Paul Borton knows that was the case. Billy Moore should have taken on the defence instead of coming back in and throwing the reverse pass. We've got a Queenslander still laid out flat. 35 out from the New South Wales line. A beautiful backline move. I think that must be the player that got Polak's passing the football.
All right, we'll come back to that in just a moment. Here's a break. We're back in 30 seconds. So we're of the opinion that the player down is Danny Moore. Let me see. I have a feeling he might be looking for the Jordan frame here. Well, welcome back to the Sydney Football Stadium. Nothing has happened since we've been away, but it is that they are getting the Jordan frame organised for Danny Moore. As you can see, he's conscious and talking to the trainers. That was the hit.
Gee, it was great work from Danny Moore. The catch and the pass in the one movement, and Rod
He
Wishart
caught the shoulder of Rod Wishart flush on the right side of the jaw.
totally accidental. It's left him in a sickened state. And the worst sight, not just in rugby league, but in any sport, a stretcher being called for, especially this type of stretcher.
Well, we saw some movement in the arms. And he's conscious. The concern is over the neck area. And so that neck brace goes on now. And all the care in the world being exhibited by these men that have been trained for situations such as these. Something that you don't like to see in any sport. But better that they know these days of the correct procedures. Way back in the dark ages, it was almost just pick them up holus bolus and throw them on a canvas stretcher.
And it's not the fitting way that Danny Moore should be leaving the field tonight. He's had an outstanding game. Exceeded many of people's expectations, not his own or Paul Borton or the Queensland sides. But again, this is going to mean a reshuffle in their lineup. 10.5 minutes to go in this game, leading by 2. Aiken is on the wing. Terry Cook will be in the centres. So the toughest 10.5 minutes in many of these players' careers that they've faced or may ever face.
Just looking through some of these statistics as Danny Moore has taken off. I was looking for the lowest scoring game in State of Origin history. It was 8-0 here at the SFS back in 1990. Here's Queensland coming up with the ball, 20 metres out.
Harrigan coming up with a simple loose ball there, just hit in a strong tackle. Queensland at the right end of the field.
Billy Moore now, just outside that 20-metre line. Gary Larson, 15 out, right in the centre of the ground. 2-0 Queensland, and we're inside the last 10 minutes. Lamb turns it in. O'Davis ricochets off the tackle. Now the 17 is Teven. Teven's 2 metres out from the line. To the blind side for Lamb. He rolls it in. Oh, beautiful anticipation by Sears. The Blues bring it off their own line now with Wishart. Have a look at Matthew Sears. He's there, anticipating what Adrian Lamb would do. And now they go quickly across to the left. The Johns, oh! And that's offside. So it's a penalty to Queensland. They will soak up time and take the kick, I would imagine.
Might be kicking for touch, Ray.
Well, they're going to kick the goal.
The question is, who's the kicker? We got Wayne Bartram. Oh, he's back on the field.
So I think there's some doubt that this will go dead. I know it's only 20 metres out, but it's going across. But it is going to soak up a little bit of time, and that's in their favour.
Adam Muir is on for the Blues. And Paul McGregor, he doesn't get a good hold of it, and then the ball goes down to Matthew Johns, and he's offside. Simple as that. He's had a less than happy night tonight, the Kangaroo centre, Paul McGregor.
Oh, and the look on his face says it all. I think the Blues are shell-shocked. Nobody in the public expected this scoreline, certainly not the Blues players. I think they knew Queensland would be tough, but no way could they envisage this late in the game that they'd still be behind on the scoreboard.
Interesting to note that New South Wales have never been held to no points in State of Origin football. Here's Bartram now, just offline, can't get it dead, and Florimo is tackled, but tackled in goal.
Right,
that's amazing stuff.
Mark Cohn and Gary Larson, inspirational stuff. Gary Larson has played the best game I've ever seen him play, and there's been plenty of good ones in what's been a fairly illustrious career. Has not stopped, and they're tough things to do to get up there and make those kind of tackles.
You know, even if they were not to win the match, it'd be hard to go past Larson as a standout man of the match.
Oh, he is.
$1,000 from Tui's for the man of the match. And even if New South Wales snatch victory, it would have to go to Larson.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of Queensland teammates out there putting up big games. This bloke, well, you can't find a player that hasn't played well. All of the newcomers, the old heads leading the way. Lamb, he's been so sharp.
Queensland probing for that opening.
Larson and O'Davis have been the two best out there. Just under 7 minutes to go for Queensland to hang on. Don't ride off the Blues. We saw Queensland escape with a miracle try last year on this ground. The Blues are capable of doing the same thing.
Well, that'll be play on. It came off the legs of Sidaris. 12 metres out from his own line, he plays the ball. No, it's a penalty to the Blues. I just took my eyes away from the game, and I'm not sure what that penalty was all about. You wouldn't believe it, but with 6 minutes of the match to go, New South Wales 243 tackles, Queensland 241. Muir, 33 out from his own line. And this is Brad Mackay. A trialist State of Origin.
One bloke who deserves a rap as well as the referee. A good flowing game, not that many penalties. New South Wales going wide now. Andrew Johns a cut out to McGregor, but a good strong tackle again. Ben Ikin coming in. Last tackle.
Some Cinderella stories unfolding out there tonight. The high kick came off the fingers of Menzies, and New South Wales leave it there for Queensland, and of course the turnover goes to them. Coming up to 75 minutes, the Maroons, are they about to pull off one of the more freakish things that's happened in rugby league?
I'd have to say the greatest ever if they pull this one off. I don't think there's ever been a Queensland team that were written off by virtually everybody. Perhaps even greater rabs than that first ever victory in 1980.
Well, we talked about that at the top of the show when a lot of people said, oh, this won't work, mate against mate and state against state. I said to Sterlo, nothing has been bagged more than this Queensland side. And here they are, turning it around to suit themselves. This will be one of the great moments in Queensland sport if they can pull it off. 2 metres into New South Wales territory. Larson it was who got a kick in that went out on the full. Well, turn it up, fat man. He's entitled to one mistake.
How's he going, Fatty? Andrew Voss, what's the story with Danny Moore? As New South Wales go wide here, the cutout pass from Matthew Johns to Florimo.
Sterlo, it's great news on Danny Moore. The initial news is positive. He's regaining full movement. The doctor doesn't think there's any serious damage.
Thank you, Andrew. Mackay or Fittler comes across for Menzies. A one-handed pass for Wishart. Wishart takes them on, but he's pulled down by O'Davis. They're 15 out from the line now. The Blues, they've got 3.5 minutes to pull it out. Matthew Johns inside for Harrigan, and the Chief has pulled down. Played back for Florimo. Now it's with Sidaris. It's in the in goal, and it's gone dead in goal. Oh, what pressure!
Oh, Mark Carroll saying, come on. I don't know whether Sidaris should have kicked there. I thought he had numbers. Again, it was nearly a try.
Well, we saw 4 minutes into the game, New South Wales almost scored. The kick was too long, and once again on that occasion, a bit of luck going the way of Queensland. You need your fair share in this game. They've certainly made it happen, though.
It's now up to the experienced players in the Queensland outfit to take control. Significant that Coyne took the 20-metre tap. And they lost it. That's what they didn't need. That's the last thing they needed. Tony Hearn's face says it all. 2.5 to go. And they're in front by 2-0. They give the Blues another chance.
You reckon the Blues might throw it around a little bit here or what?
They win the scrum and come to Matthew Johns. Now Paul McGregor. It's knocked down by Queensland. 6 more tackles. Florimo uses Wishart. He's pulled down. 25 out. 2-0 to Queensland. Across now for Fittler. It goes out for Menzies. Menzies shrugs out of a tackle. Pulled down, 20 out.
Adrian Lamb coming up with the try saver there. Andrew Johns the cutout. There's numbers.
Matthew Johns goes wide. McGregor steps inside. Comes outside. Gets the pass away. Wishart is with it, but he's easily put away. He's in the touch. That will just about be the ball game.
That one tackle has just won the game for Queensland. If they don't do anything silly in this next set of 6 and get a good kick away, Fatty knows how close they are away.
Well, look at that man, Adrian Lamb. He came over the top to help his teammates. He's been something special tonight. They were looking for a new Alfie Langer. I don't know if he's that, but he's certainly been outstanding for his Maroons team.
So Lamb takes the tackle. That's the first, and there's 1.25 minutes to go. Here's Ben Ikin. They must get away from the sideline, Queensland. Now Craig Teevan. Third tackle. Look at them, they're taking him to the sideline. He's pulled down 1 metre inside and 1 metre outside the 20.
New South Wales will get a couple of shots. Even though that is a very slow play of the ball, that's the fourth tackle. Gary Larson, they'll waste another tackle now and get the kick in. 30 seconds or so for New South Wales to rescue this game.
Mark Hone, he takes the tackle. Now the kick. Now they put it through the hands and then the kick. And they find the line. The scrum will go down. Or the turnover, is it? The turnover. No, it's the scrum to pack down. 5 metres on New South Wales side of halfway.
19 seconds.
There's a little glimmer of a smile coming on his face. 12 seconds. Won by the Blues. Matthew Johns away. Paul McGregor flicks it out the back. Florimo gets it on. Thrown away by one of the Johns boys. And that is it. Queensland have won. The Maroons have won the first state of origin. Incredible performance. Magnificent scenes. look at them, absolutely beside themselves, and why wouldn't they be? Maligned, criticised, people wonder why they do this. They are crying. This has been one of the more magical moments in Queensland sporting history.